So, I owe Allie a big apology. I got so focused on trying to wrap up service. We had an announcement we needed to make. Really should have made in first service, but Allie's she had planned to share during this time as well, and then she'll share in second. But Allie?
I have been here at Auburn First for 4 years now. And it has been an incredibly growing season for me and an incredibly joy-filled. And I'm not going to cry. I am incredibly grateful to all of you, to this community. I am going to cry. And I am going back to school. So I will be starting full-time in August to study nursing. So I have finished up my prereqs this semester. So I will start full-time in the fall, which means I will be transitioning out of this role in August. Sorry. I don't know if I can talk anymore. I am so thankful to this church, to SPRC, for the opportunity to be on this incredible staff. We are incredibly lucky. I've worked in other ministry roles where the staff dynamic was not great, and I cannot say enough that we have an incredible staff here. People that, I didn't know when I got here and have become my family. So thank you. I'm very grateful. And again, I'm here till August. So we wanted to announce it now because we're hoping that we will be able to have some overlap time with me and whoever the next person is to kind of make that transition a little bit easier. So we wanted to let you know, also just so that we have time to, be prepared for that. I am not a person that likes change or does well with things changing. So it's a big adjustment for me, and I know that it will be an adjustment here as well. So yeah, thanks.
In the coming weeks and months, Lindsay, go ahead and get in position if you like. We'll find ways to celebrate Allie's ministry here that has been phenomenal and that we're very appreciative of. So make sure you show her your appreciation in these coming weeks and months, and we'll find ways as a church to celebrate that. All right, Lindsay.
All right. We'll transition to something. Okay. All right. I know you've heard us talk about Rome. We've not actually done anything here in a town hall before, and I thought this might be helpful for some of you who've not signed up for Realm yet. And so I'm just going to give you a little tutorial on how to sign up, how to request an account, and just kind of the basics, how to do some of the things once you get an account. So the first thing that you'll do, is request an account by going to auburnumc.church/realm. So you just go to your browser, type that in. And you'll come into this screen, and you'll click the sign up button. And all you'll need to do is put your email in and your name. And this is related, like your account is based on an email. So if you share an email with your spouse or your partner, only one of you can have an account. And then your name, your birthday, and your phone number. You put that in, and then you hit continue. And it sends us an email saying that you've requested an account. So now you wait for an email from us saying that your request has been approved. And this could take a couple of days. So you just wait, because we approve every request that comes in for security purposes, just to make sure that it's not, a bot somebody trying to, infiltrate our system or anything like that. So we approve every individual account. So once you get that email, you follow the instructions, click the link, and it'll take you to this page where you can create your password. It'll give you the instructions for creating your password. You'll need to have at least 3 of those 5 requirements, not all 5. You don't need to have the 15 or more characters if you don't want to. The first time I saw that, I about freaked out. Just say 3 of the 5. So you'll just confirm your password and then click the I'm not a robot if you're not a robot. And then you get to do the fun little puzzle and try not to mess up, like I did 3 times or 2 times. And then you just hit the continue, and it'll take you to the sign-in page where you'll put your email in and the password that you just created. And this is the home screen. Then you'll get taken to your news feed, and this is where all of the latest news and updates from your groups and the church are. So you just scroll down. It will have events. If we've posted anything, it will live there if you just scroll down. You could continue scrolling forever if you wanted to. You can go to the next screen. So on the left are all of your chats and group communications. So if you click the communications tab, so if you've been sent an email in a group, those also live there. And any chat messages, short-term, quick messages, those live there as well. And if you click the events tab right underneath that, that's kind of like the church calendar, your group calendar, any group that you're a part of, your calendar's there. So you can scroll through there looking for events to be a part of. If you're looking for information about those things, find something that looks interesting, click that, and the information that you need should be listed right in there. If you can't find it, there's also a place where you can chat with the host. So whoever created that, you can send a message to them asking for more information if you need it. And there's a way also to filter. So click on the Groups tab. All of your groups that you're a part of are listed there. So if you click there, you'll see individual group updates, if you prefer to see them separated out. If your leaders upload files or things like that, you can see that as well, and those will be listed in the updates. And then any of the people who are part of your group, you can see a list of those people and their contact info. And you can also find groups. If you want to join a group, you can find groups to be a part of on the tab right over from that. And so here I'm showing you how to join a group. So if you want to join the missions committee, there's a spot right there. You can request to join a group. So if you're looking for things to do, looking for ways to get connected, this is one way that you can do that, and it'll send an email to those group leaders saying that you're interested. In the serving tab, there are, we have some serving teams set up. So like our hospitality team, our fine arts camp team, our tech team, praise team, different things like that. We've got those set up in Realm. So if you're interested in joining any of them, you can notify those leaders that you're interested by kind of following those same steps, by finding them in those groups, saying that you're interested, and it'll send an email to them. Mike, you can go to the next one. So you can also give within Realm, and it's all secure. So you go to the Giving tab, and you click the blue Give button. You can choose the fund. Put your amount in. And you can also give to multiple funds at one time. You can set a memo. And you can set up one or reoccurring gifts. You can set the start date of that gift. You can also set up the end date of that gift. And once you've got that all secured, all set up the way that you want to, you click the continue, and you will be able to put a credit card or debit card number in, but you can also choose to use your bank account if you want to do it that way. It does charge a processing fee for credit or debit, so you can offset those costs. You can also set up your annual pledge if you've not done your pledge yet for the year. So if you click the pledge button, it'll show up there if you've not done your pledge. And just kind of showing you a quick little tutorial, very similar to how you do the giving. Very quick, very easy. And you can view and print. There's a little print button at the top there. Your giving history. You can download this, or you can print it off, whichever you prefer. But that's always available for you. I know we often get calls asking, where you're at for the year or things like that. So if you've got your Realm account, you can do that right from your Realm profile. And if you've set up a general fund pledge, you'll be able to track your progress right from your Realm profile on the side. It's very handy. So you can see like a little percentage, a little bar graph there. Love it. Very, very helpful and handy, just quick. But yeah, Mike, if you want to go to the next screen then. I've got a little calendar set up for with some appointment times on it if you want to book some time with me to kind of go over Realm or any other tech questions that you might have. I am always willing to help you figure it out if you're willing to learn. I've worked with a few of you one-on-one, and so you can go to that bit.ly/Lindsay-schedule or scan the QR code. I've also left my business card on the back at the Welcome Center. If you want to just grab one of those, you can send me an email if that's just easier for you. I've got a sign-up sheet if you want to sign up for Realm that way, and I can send you an invitation if that's just easier for you. Go ahead and do it that way, and I'll shoot you an email invitation. And also, you can sign up to join our e-news list if you're not already on our e-news. We send out a weekly email with everything that's happening, coming up, information about all that's going on. We've got a lot going on for the summer. So if you want to stay connected, stay in the know, that's where you need to be. So you can sign up there as well. Thank you.
All right. It's a great tool we use, and if for some reason you can't connect with Lindsay on this, ask your 5-year-old to help you set it up. Your grandkid, or great-grandkid, they'll help you get there. But also, like Lindsay said, she does have a sign-up up there for you to connect with her. She can show you how to use the tool. If you just want to get connected for the first time, just give her your email, and she'll get you started on that as well. All right. Let me get back here to my town hall slides. There we go. All right, I want to, we're going to be going through some numbers here, and there are a couple things I'm going to skip because we got out a little bit late. But one of the things that I want to share with you are some other updates on staff, and Greg's going to come up and share with us on that. Some things that have been changing about staff benefits that are positive. We want to create positions here. Irony of ironies, we have Allie's announcement, but we're trying to create positions where we would attract very qualified people and retain them. And so we've taken an important step on that, and Greg's been the driver behind that, and he's done a lot of the work, and he also has some other things to share with us.
So it says numbers. Would this be helpful? but I'm not going to have any slides with numbers on them. Did that enough in corporate jobs, so no numbers. I will tell you that through the first quarter, we haven't closed out the month of April yet, but through the first quarter, we're in very strong shape. Our giving, it is. Maybe I'm not holding it in the right place. So through the first quarter, our giving to the general fund is exceeding what our expenses are. And that's really the result of changes that were made in staffing a year ago. Our giving is slightly down year over year, but that's only a 3-month period. But we are running favorable against our expenses, which is great. Overall, our contributions to the church are about the same. So people have been giving into other places other than just the general fund. My observation on giving is we have a very generous congregation, and we are supporting a lot of things here through the church, which is fantastic. So, and in addition to what's going on in our current operations financially, I just want to assure everybody we are in a very strong position from our reserves, but we're not tapping into those because everything is holding up just fine. One of the challenges we have, I think, is getting the right people in place and retaining those people, and that falls into what we've been doing benefit-wise. When we came into the year, we had some challenges trying to get people recruited because of our benefit offering, and also everybody knows that healthcare costs are going way up. So the biggest thing we did, and I wasn't even aware this was possible before we went into it, but Rob challenged and said, how are we going to get benefits to people that have families, because it was just too expensive. The net result of everything and Noah gave me some guidance to get started in the right place. We have taken the dollars that we used to provide for group health insurance. We've given that all to the employees. We didn't increase the church's cost, but we put a lot of money back in the hands of our employees where they could go into the marketplace. And it's not terrible plans. A lot of them were the same plans that I used to participate. The Aetnas, the Cignas, and all those are out there. But when you go into the marketplace, many of our employees were able to take advantage of premium tax credits. So without increasing cost to the church, we significantly reduced the cost to our employees, which is great. Now, one problem with that is it all became taxable income. So I've been working and investigating, and in a very short period of time, we're going to go out and actively promote trying to get employees to make contributions to health savings accounts with some of this additional money that's been put in their hands. They do that, they can avoid current state, federal, Social Security taxes, so that's wonderful. And I've just identified a provider that will do that with no fees charged back to the employees. So that's a big win. And for people, if you not only get to save the money going in, if you take it out for qualified expenditures, there's no taxes due when it comes out. And if you accumulate funds in there, and you can accumulate it forever because it's going to be the employee's money, they can invest it. And then investment earnings are tax-free too. So it's a wonderful thing that we're going to do for them. And all of these changes have been reviewed through Staff Parish Committee. And, one other thing I want to say. The funds that we're making available to our employees, it's all full-time employees. So we've brought the preschool people into the same program that we have for the staff, which is wonderful. And we also pretty much harmonized our employment conditions between the preschool and staff in all areas except vacation, and that's because they have school holidays, which are very different than what we have for the rest of the staff. So pleased about all that, pleased that everything's been approved for the Staff Parish Committee, and I think we finally have an updated handbook that's about ready to be presented for approval. So that's been busy. I feel good about it. And the last thing I've been doing is trying to make sure all of our employees understand what's available to them already that's been approved. We've had a lot of people not taking advantage of certain things that are covered in the handbook. They just didn't know about it. And then the last piece that I want to cover this morning is, like Allie, I've made the decision that I need to leave my role at the church. I've got a lot of other things, and I don't want to make excuses, but I've got a lot of things that are really, I think, more important to me than spending the time here. So sometime in early July, I'm going to move on once we find a replacement, and then I'm going to spend my time providing support and care in other areas.
Thank you, Greg. So Greg has done a fantastic job helping us make our benefits more beneficial. Really appreciate that. And one thing that Greg has agreed to do when he steps out of that role, he will step into our finance chair position, and be a part of our single board. And that's one of the things I want us to talk about today as well. So Greg's going to be transitioning out in July. We have a couple staff positions to fill. Word of mouth usually has helped me find the best employees. So how does word of mouth happen? By word of mouth. Right? So that's you guys. If you know someone in finances, we do have a couple folks that are already interested in these positions, which I'm super excited about. But the more candidates, the more we're certain we get the right people in those positions. So please do spread the word, and we'll begin announcing that in the next couple weeks on our social media and other ways to get it out there. Also, one thing that I don't know the history of this church's utilization of this position, but in a lot of churches, it's a position that is very important but doesn't get a lot of attention, and we want to change that, and that's lay leader. A lay leader is an individual in the church who has an ear in the congregation and an ear with the pastor and leadership. So one of their roles is they are privy to any of the meetings that happen so that they can be sure your pastor and your leadership are saying the same thing in one meeting that they're saying in another. But then also, if they're catching wind of concerns in the congregation, they're not tattlers, but they come to the pastor and say, hey, some people have some concerns in these areas. Would you please address it? So I want you to get to know your lay leader, and Noah has agreed to do that position, and he was going to share a little bit with us this morning. So Noah, you want to come on up and share with us some? You can use that microphone there.
So I'm going to say a couple things before I talk about that, since I was the chair of the SPRC. I do want to thank Greg and Jeff Turner. They did an incredible amount of work in rewriting our handbook to bring that up to date, and all the research Greg did for the health benefits. That was a lot of work, a lot of getting in the weeds to get to where we are. So I really appreciate both of them for doing that. Also, I've been in Allie's shoes, where I've had to say goodbye to people that I love, and really appreciate her and the ministry that she's done while she's been here. Has had a huge impact on our kids and our youth. The things that she's done with our mission trips have been incredible, and I'm sure we'll have time here in the future to say lots more amazing things about her, but I just wanted to recognize her as well. Rob said a little bit about what lay leader is. I know I don't come from a United Methodist background, so a lot of times when I was sitting out here as a new attender and these terms were thrown around, I had no idea what they meant. And so, as Rod said, my main role is to foster awareness of the role of the laity, which is you and I, within the church and within our community. So you are going to see me up here more, sharing not just what we are doing, but why we are doing it. How it fits into our mission and vision as a church. You'll see me encouraging you as the laity to be active participants in that mission, both, again, inside and outside the walls of this building. And I'm also your liaison. I have a seat on the board, and it's my responsibility to ensure that your voice is heard. And so, as Rob said, if you have questions about what we're doing, why we're doing it, come and find me. I don't normally attend first service, but I'm going to try to be more available in between the services so that, if you need to talk to me, I will be out there and available. One of the big changes that did happen this year is moving from committees to one board, and that was voted on by the Ad Council last year and approved. And I want to give Rob a lot of credit. We didn't just rush right in because this is very different. And so Rob spent 2 months, we had 2 long meetings essentially, not only with the current members of the board, but people who were on committee in the previous term. So they also could get an understanding of what we were doing and why we were doing it. And Rob did a fantastic job with that training. This last month, we had our first official meeting as one board. And again, as a committee member of a former committee, we were able to make decisions in an effective and efficient manner. Things that would have taken 2 or 3 months took 1 meeting. And as a committee member, I only had to attend 1 meeting that month instead of 2 or 3. And so, and I will say that the general vibe of the committee, considering all those factors, was incredible. The decisions that we made. I want to give Mary Clara some credit because she's our new head of trustees, and she came to that meeting so prepared. I gave her credit afterwards, and we just moved through a bunch of items that needed to be decided very quickly. We were able to have discussion about them because all the information was there and had been researched. And so I just want to let you know as your lay leader that that's going well. There's going to be some learning curve as we move forward, but I think it's been a great decision on our part.
Thank you, Noah. And while we're in transition, come on up. Tim's going to share just an update from Worship Arts Ministry.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for letting me come in late. Of course, you know what my schedule normally is on Sunday mornings. Just got out of praise team rehearsal, so if anyone wants to rock out this morning, there you go. You have that to go to next, right? But I'll tell you, thank you all so much. I know that Rob probably mentioned a little bit of an Easter season recap. Oh, no, not yet? All right, well, I'll talk a little bit about that. I want to thank you all who were a part of what we were able to do. I feel like we were very blessed to be able to connect with our tapestry churches and also with the Presbyterian Church as well. I think if you hadn't realized it at all, Pastor Rob and the tapestry churches and many of us on the staff as well really felt like it was an important thing to be able to be intentional with our connections with other churches. And so you probably realized things were kind of a little bit out of the ordinary from what we've done for our normal Holy Week services. But I hope that if you were a part of those, especially with our Good Friday service, we know that in previous years, we have it in a very reverent space like this in our beautiful sanctuary. But our goal with what we wanted to be able to do with that service did not capture what it would be in here. And so having the chance to be able to connect intentionally with the Presbyterian Church as we had our prayer stations that we went through was a very beautiful thing, even though it may not have been in here. Just the chance of being able to focus our relationship with God and our relationship around the table with it as well. So we thank you for your grace in letting us be able to do that this year. I know it was probably really tough not being able to have it in here. And for those that had the chance of being able to worship with all the rest of our tapestry churches, we had 125 people in total for our Maundy Thursday service, and it was a very powerful service with the worship we had, the time of communion we had to get together, and also with the intentionality of getting to know the people around our table, but first making sure to stir up the pot, upset the fruit basket, I guess you can say, finding new people to sit with, people that you probably haven't even met yet with that. But it was a great opportunity to be able to do that. So thank you all who were a part of that. The choir did an amazing job for us as well. I had them be a part of both of those services. They put a lot of time and effort into that. Our praise team, all our ministries that we have, I feel like it's times like that where we see it rather than just on the standard Sunday mornings, that we are very blessed with the people who are committed in serving our God through the ways of fine arts and music and all. So if you see any choir members or praise team members that are around, make sure to give them a big thank you for the sacrifices that they have done the past couple of weeks ago, just to be able to give a very powerful set of services during our time of Holy Week. Another thing is really just talking a little bit about my objectives, and I'm not going to go too far with it, but going along still with our worship leaders, continually equipping them, making sure that there are plans in mind when I'm not able to do it, because we know that there are times when certain things come about and I can't sing, have laryngitis or something like that. Now what's going to happen? Our praise team, our choir members have done an amazing job with being able to take the load on that, especially if there may be times where I have to be in the tech booth to help out. But something that hopefully you'll be able to continue to see as they lead on their own is that we want them to be encouraged to lead the congregation authentically, and hopefully as the congregation can be able to see Christ in us as we lead the music, hopefully that can exude onto our congregation as well. I come from, even though I was Mennonite beforehand, like I came from I guess you can call it non-denominational church where they really like to rock out and everything, and just not being a part of the band at times and focusing on just the beauty of the hearts that are up there leading us, that really encourages me with being able to take that time of worship and give God praise and praise alone with that, and holding nothing back. So I encourage you in here, even when it comes to hymns, don't feel like you're holding anything back with that. And same in there with that. We want to be able to see people on fire for Christ as we continue to worship together. I know it's very easy to feel like you're the odd one out when you're putting your hands up and everything and you're so in the moment, and probably someone, of course, like, what's this deal? That's worshiping right there. That is you connecting with God and celebrating, giving praise. And so I encourage you all, implore you all even, to be able to do that. If you are one that loves to be expressive in your time of worship, please do so. I encourage you to do that. All right? I think that's all I'm going to say for tonight.
That's my fault, guys. Worship art director who is passionate about worship. That's an important thing. So we're excited about that. I want to see where we're at in our order here. Okay, I do want to invite Sue to come up. I'm going to share at the end some this is a big picture issue, or movement that's happening in the church. We want you to know about it, and then I'm going to share some ministry directives as we close our time out together. But I'll pass this off to Sue, and she has an exciting announcement or information. I guess it's been announced, but information update for folks.
Yes. Is it on?
It should be on, yes.
Okay. We're going to finally start construction on our preschool as soon as school's out. It is our kids leave the 16th, or they're through with school on the 16th of May, and on the 19th we begin construction. Downstairs, as you can see from the diagram, the room on the left, or the darker color, that is in the large room that we are taking actually part of and adding an additional classroom. The reason we put it there is we're backing up to another classroom, and we will share a bathroom because each of the rooms has a bathroom there. And then across the hallway, we are switching on the right-hand side there. That is the library currently. And we're moving that, and that's going to be the 2-year-old program because it's a smaller classroom. In there, we will only have 10 students in that classroom. And on the right-hand side is the hallway where you enter the preschool, where we put the big Christmas tree and everything out there. We're going to close off one of the restrooms and make the entry into the classroom there, is what it is. And that way, we can actually use it into the classroom. Does that make sense at all? And then you see the little line across, that will be her closet because actually we didn't want to take any room out of that space there. We already have the 2-year-old classrooms full. There's a 3-day program and a 2-day. Those are both full. We have a teacher that we're moving that is a substitute now that we will move into the teacher in that program. The larger room we think will be the 3-year-old because there's already a wait list for a second classroom there. That will vary depending on the demand, like they do in the schools, depending on the number of students. It may be a 4-year-old program, it may be 3, just depending on what we need. And we need staff too, so word of mouth. We have the staff for the 2-year-old program, but we are looking for a teacher and an assistant for the extra classroom. And then we are looking for 3 staff. We have teachers or staff that will be going to back to school and that type of a thing in the fall. So currently we have 114 students attending school. We have 39 elementary students that come from, they're being bused by DeKalb Central, that come after school, which is a wonderful program that they can come. Usually they have a sibling already here that stays, so the parent only has to make one stop after school. With the construction, we will actually, the 2-year-old program will add 20 students to our list of, or additional kids. When we add a 3-year-old program, it'll be a 3-day class and a 2-day, so that'll add an additional 30 kids to our list of kids. So that will be awesome. They will have it done by the 1st of August, so we'll be ready to go when the new school year starts. If anyone would like a tour, I can give you one when this finishes today, or just holler at me and I'm free to do it anytime, or Caitlin will be. So we're proud of it. We're excited to get going on it. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sue. Yes, it's exciting, and it's great that we have a preschool board that isn't comfortable with just being full, but wants to make space to bring in even more. And when you bring in 30 new students, that's 60 parents, averaging 4 more grandparents, all these people coming into our space and utilizing it and having goodwill for our church. And that is a positive thing in our community, as we are a aftercare desert, childcare desert here in DeKalb, meaning that it is scarce. So we're proud to have a great preschool here. I want to share with you what is happening as far as your church leadership initiatives, there are a couple things. One that I want us to celebrate, peer-to-peer, is a group of individuals from this church that have been exploring bringing nonviolent de-escalation training to our high school students. That was approved in April, and we have flyers out on our information desk if you want more information about it. If you are someone or you know an institution that the individuals would benefit, this nonviolent training, these individuals are coming from Rhode Island. It's a national program. This is the core training that prepares you if you wanted to become a certified individual in Kingian nonviolent de-escalation. But the core principles in and of themselves are powerful tools for personal life as well as being utilized in an organization. If you're interested in it, so we have the information flyer, and then we actually have the sign-up sheet for the training, and on the back is the sign-up. I want to let you know that this program that is, first we want to train a group of adults to be able to lead youth in this program, and then the concept is that as we teach youth these principles, they then use them in their personal relationships and in their school setting, and they become agents of peace in their school system. Some of those so there's 6 core principles, and one of them is to do no violence. And, our first thought is, well, I'm not getting in fights. But the violence that it's talking about is not just physical violence, it's violence of words. Have you seen violence of words around lately? I certainly have. I've used violence of words, unfortunately, when I lose my cool. And one of the things that it teaches is to first don't do violence to the self. And so this isn't just about pointing out, in fact, it isn't about this at all, pointing out people's problems. It's about first looking at yourself and seeing what you're adding to any situation. Because if you find yourself in conflict, there's probably somewhere where you've added to it. And the other thing is that it seeks not to do violence even to the people who we might consider the aggressors. So it's really important that this is not about finding bad guys. This is about finding beloved community together. And beloved community is when we were all learning to respect and love each other and living in a peaceful community. Part of this programming is that weekly these youth will put on what's called Peace Club. It's a space for people for their peers to come in and experience a peaceful space where they can share their concerns, where they can say, hey, I'm having this trouble. How should I maybe approach this? And they're talking to their peers, and it's being led by a peer who's been trained in these principles to help them think through, how do I engage in conflict in a healthy way? We have given as our world has done it, but certainly here in our culture in America, we've given our kids powerful tools well before they're able to navigate the impact of them. You guys have probably experienced this. Kids getting online and seeing things and engaging in activities that their minds can't even process yet. And part of this tool is helping those kids regain their own sense of balance and control by teaching them principles that allow them to engage either online or with others personally in healthier ways, instead of modeling some of the negative models we have out there, either online or on national stages that teach that conflict is the way to get things done. This is teaching a different way, a Christ way of doing things. Are there any questions about the peer-to-peer nonviolent program right now? Okay. How many of you have heard something about this already? Okay, good amount of you. All of the funding for this has come from Center for Congregations. If it is effective this year, we will be looking for grant money as a church to continue this program in the 26-27 school year. So this is kind of a pilot year for this whole program. So please be praying for it. I really believe in its potential. It'll come down, I think, essentially to are our students interested in engaging, and are we preparing it and presenting it in a way that is effective? So be praying for that. Also, to let you know that we have 2 identified individuals for Stephen's ministry. How many of you have heard us talking about Stephen's ministry? So these are our 2 large initiatives this year. Not the only, but these are the front runners. Stephen's ministry helps a congregation identify leaders in congregational care, and then they begin to train other individuals and volunteers in the church to help them be effective in providing congregational care. Steve Hissong and Kathy Hardy, is Kathy, I see Bob's here, but Kathy's, are leading that charge. Kathy is really taking the bull by the horns, and she's doing a lot of work with that. They will be trained, and so in the coming months, they're going to go through a pretty intensive training to make that happen. So those are a couple of the big things that we are working on together, and kind of a summary with the tapestry that Noah mentioned, and that Tim talked about, our worship experiences together. Those have been powerful. We are learning from them, and I know some people lamented that we weren't here on Good Friday. We'll be back in the sanctuary Good Friday. Actually, it'll be Presbyterian's turn, so we'll be over there with them with First Pres in their sanctuary. And with our tapestry events, we're learning some things. We had a shared Ash Wednesday service. Part of that was largely because I wasn't going to be here that week. I took the opportunity to be on the trail with my sons. But we're learning that some of those key things, those key worship experiences, how to navigate those a little bit better. So it's a learning curve with the tapestry, but we are doing some great things together as we grow as Christ Church. Okay, are there any questions that we have about the material we presented? I know it was kind of like a fire hose of information at you, but hopefully you find it to be meaningful and informative. But are there any questions before we go further? Okay, did anybody learn something new today about what your church is doing? Okay, good. That's what these are here for.